Hello and welcome to the Fourth Down Podcast. We are your hosts for today. My name is Alex.
And my name is Mickey.
And last time we recorded a podcast was Monday before the Monday night game between the Bills and Bengals, which we talked about, how exciting the game is going to be. But after the events all happened Monday night, it went from a game to a shocking, sad event that happened with Damar Hamlin. Now, we are recording this on Thursday the 6th, and we just want to let you know if you guys haven't heard the news, Damar Hamlin is doing well. He is breathing on his own. He is clenching his fist. Pretty much, he's feeling a lot better. So,
Yeah, he has movement in his hands and his feet, and he's able to talk on his own, which is phenomenal.
but we just want to give our quick thoughts, saying we want to thank, um, we just want to give our thoughts and prayers for him continuing to, you know, as he gets better and better every day. And I'm sure, a lot of people too. And the biggest takeaway from all this, I don't know, it's just a hard thing to watch. Like we said earlier too, when we were watching that unfold, it's hard to watch that live. I don't know. I'm just lost of words right now.
Yeah, and I think everyone on that field or in that building did just a phenomenal job with the way they handled it. Obviously, the medical staff, the players surrounding him, um, not just to provide support, but also blocking cameras because,
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
yeah, no one needs to have that circulating, although I'm sure it is. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, the announcers, because they had a time slot they had to fill, the broadcasters, and they did a great job of just going off the cuff and just keep going. The coaches making sure their team was okay, and just everyone working together to make sure that, you know, as soon as something like that happens, it's not about football anymore.
No, and you're right. We're so focused on let's get this game underway. But as soon as unfortunately like, an event like this happens, that shift now focus on him. And I don't know. That night I just kept checking my Twitter, hopefully to get some good news. But it was Monday. This is today. He's doing a lot better now, thank God. And we just continue. Hopefully he gets better and better every day. And his charity, which I posted on the fourth down on Instagram in the bio for people who want to donate to his charity. It raised I think about $7 million, which is
Yeah.
incredible. When I I kind of want to I doubt it, but I kind of want to see his reaction to like all the people that showed his love and support for him. But we just wanted to say that real quick. Our thoughts and prayers still with Damar Hamlin and
Yeah.
his speedy recovery.
And not that either one of us know him or have a personal attachment to him, but he is from Pittsburgh, which is very close to us, and that just made it a little bit more impactful, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we just want to start by saying that real quick. And again, we're glad he's doing a lot better. He's breathing on his own. But we just wanted to talk about that real quick before we get on with the show itself, because I think this is way bigger than football. So we just want to start by saying that real quick. And as we go on to today's topics, we'll be talking about which teams are most likely to make the playoffs. As we approach Week 18, we'll do Week 18 picks. And breaking news last night too. They obviously canceled the Bills Bengals game, as they should. I think that was the right call to do. But now there's lots of mix-ups in how the season's gonna go and how neutral sites. We'll get all that in a second. But right now we just want to talk about the first topic, which teams are most likely to make the postseason. A lot of clinch scenarios for a lot of teams. As you can see on the title screen, or on your picture, the four teams right now. Three of them have a win-and-in scenario. The Packers, Titans, and Jaguars. And for the Lions, the Seattle Seahawks need to lose, and the Lions need to win. A lot of teams right now playing for that final couple playoff spots. It's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun weekend, an emotional weekend, but a fun weekend of football. Lots of really good games. Lots of matchups that could potentially shake the playoff picture. So we're gonna pick one team that we think has a good shot at making the playoffs this weekend. Let's start with you. Let's start with you, Mickey.
So, my team that I think has a good shot at making it in this weekend is the Jaguars. I think they've been playing very well. I don't know that they'll have a deep playoff run, but I do think they have the upper hand over Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jacksonville's playing red hot right now. They blown out the Texans. They played really well against the Jets. Had a big win against the Cowboys. I think, and that matchup's gonna be interesting too. We'll see. Hopefully, the Jacksonville Jaguars curse doesn't go with the win in a scenario. Like, hopefully, they don't stunk it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tennessee's still a decent team, but I agree. I think Jacksonville has a shot at making playoffs.
I think Jacksonville is more of a cohesive unit than Tennessee is right now. But I could see it going either way. I do think Jacksonville has the upper hand. I don't think they will make it far in the playoffs if they get in, but I do think they have a good shot.
And I totally agree. I like your prediction with which team will make the playoffs. I'm gonna go probably. I think Green Bay has a good shot. They're playing at home. They're red hot right now, absolutely dominating against the Vikings, and they're playing against a really good Detroit Lions team. Um, if Detroit and Green Bay were like win and in scenarios, I would probably lean lower towards Detroit too. But since they have to rely on Seattle to maybe lose against the Rams at home, I still think Green Bay has a better shot. Aaron Rodgers' last game of the season, defense is clicking well. It's at home. It's gonna be cold against a dome team. I mean, not gonna matter, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Green Bay has a pretty good shot at making playoffs with the atmospheres and how their team rolling, especially with that defense.
Yeah, I love Detroit. I love the way they're playing right now. But if Green Bay's defense comes out and plays the way they did last week, I don't know if Detroit is going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, true. So we'll just have to wait and see. Two primetime matchups too. Jacksonville's 8:20 Saturday and Green Bay's 8:20 Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see. Should be some real fun games. Um, so we'll just have to wait and see. And a little bit of recap. I picked the Packers. She picked the Jaguars. As most likely team like the playoffs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that topic. As we move to the next one, it's time for our Week 18 picks. So if you're new to the channel, what we do is we don't actually pick the entire week schedule. We'll pick 5 crucial games that we think are important, and we'll pick them, discuss them. And we're going to start with the game we just talked about, Tennessee-Jacksonville, Saturday night. Winner of that game will clinch the AFC South and clinch a playoff berth. Tennessee without Ryan Tannehill, and who knows about Derrick Henry, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are on a roll right now, winning, I believe, their last 3, maybe 4, I think. Don't quote me on that, but should be a fun game. It's at Jacksonville, so the weather should be nice for them. And let's go. Who do you got winning that game?
I already said this earlier, but I do think Jacksonville has the upper hand. They have won their last 4 games. It's a 4-game winning streak. They have a good thing going. Now, I mean, streaks always have to come to an end at some point. So, I'm not going to say I would be surprised if Tennessee gets the upper hand, but my pick would be Jacksonville.
I'm actually going to go with the upset. I'm going to pick Tennessee to win this game. I think Tennessee showed some flashes against the Cowboys a little bit, and it's just one of those things like, can you trust Jacksonville in the big games? Yes, they beat Dallas in overtime after coming back from 17. But these are games where, like, hey, and this is a big game for Trevor Lawrence too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Can Trevor Lawrence? This is a game for that. Okay, if Trevor Lawrence wins this game, then it'll be a lot of hope for Jacksonville. But I think with Tennessee and their defense, and especially the way Josh Dobbs playing against that Cowboys defense too, I think if they do get their hand back, I think that'll add a little bit of firepower to them. I think it'll be a long shot, but I do think the Tennessee Titans get the upset victory and will host a playoff game.
One more thing I want to say is the last time they met, Jacksonville did win. Can they win again? I think they have a more cohesive team right now than Tennessee does. But sometimes it is hard to win twice against the same team in a season. So my pick is still going to be with Jacksonville, but I could see this game going either way.
Mm-hmm. Our next game is New England at Buffalo. I'll start with this one. A big game for both these teams. New England, if they win this game, they'll clinch a playoff berth. Buffalo, we'll get to the playoff seedings in a sec, but like as of now, currently, if the Bills were to manage to get the number 1 seed, and they could still get home field advantage if they play Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game. So this is still a big game for Buffalo. Getting that bye week. Just because it's gonna be playing possibly on a neutral site doesn't mean this game is important. And the Bills Patriots last time they met, they won 24-10. Josh Allen played good. Mac Jones did not look great at all. And I think this comes as no shock, but I think I'm definitely picking the Bills. I think after what they witnessed Monday night, and they're still a good team, like even before the incident. But I think with Damar Hamlin, the story, and just how Buffalo's been, I think Buffalo is going to play with a lot of heart. Not saying they haven't already, but they're going to play with a lot of extra heart, and they're going to do this for Damar Hamlin. I think the Bills are going to not only beat the Patriots, but I don't think it's going to be even close. I think it's going to be like a 38-7 ball game, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think the Bills have cylinders going. Defense is playing great. So, and a lot of emotions are high. So I think Buffalo's going to win this big.
Before going into this week, or before Monday night, I would have still bet on Buffalo to win this game just because New England has been making a lot of sloppy mistakes.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So Buffalo has been making sloppy mistakes as well, but they're able to come back and win, and that does make a difference in the league, But I think after everything that happened, Buffalo has a lot to play for right now, and not just playoff-wise, and Bills Mafia doesn't quit.
Yeah, no, and real quick, you mentioned about the Patriots' sloppy mistakes. Their last couple games, they've been very close against teams that, like, they won by, I think, 5 or something against the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. And, they barely, they've had tough losses too,
Mm-hmm.
Week 16, I totally forget who they played, but they weren't easy wins and losses. They were tough. They were close losses. But they were sloppy football, like you said.
Yeah, they haven't been playing very well.
Yeah, they played the Bengals. They did put a good fight against Cincinnati Bengals in that second half after trailing 22-0. But recently, Patriots have been playing sloppy football. The Bills have been, but Bills, they're clicking at the right time. I think Buffalo. I don't think anyone's gonna beat Buffalo for a long time. I think
it depends on what the playoff matchups end up looking like. I could see the Bills going all the way, but I said that before Monday night too.
Well, yeah, we're not. But this is just focused on the team.
But just focused on the team. Like, obviously, the Bills have a better team.
So yeah,
I don't even know. Is Mac Jones gonna play?
Oh yeah, he's gonna play.
Okay.
But yeah, Bills win. We both picked the Bills. Our next game is Jets and Dolphins. As mentioned, Skylar Thompson's the quarterback for the Dolphins in a must-win scenario against the New York Jets. If the Dolphins win, they will clinch a playoff berth. I think only if the Patriots lose.
The Jets are playing with Joe Flacco.
Yes, and they have nothing to play for. The Jets, they've been eliminated last week, but they're going to try to play spoiler. I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win this game. I think I still think the Dolphins have much better weapons on offense, even without Tua. I think Skylar Thompson could probably get it going. He looked very horrible last week, but I think they're going to try to change the game plan and make sure he gets the comfort he deserves. So, and that Dolphins defense could help him out a little bit too, putting pressure on Joe Flacco and the Jets team. And plus, I don't think I don't think this team is. I just don't think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, so the Jets are on like a 5-game losing streak right now. But
And even with Mike White quarterback, they have not been playing good ball. I get he was injured, but still.
well, there's a lot of factors other than just the quarterback that is holding the Jets back. But quarterback isn't the only thing holding the Dolphins back either. There's a lot of different things at play. And I am going to pick the Jets. But I could see this game going either way. And even though I'm picking the Jets, I'm kind of rooting for Miami.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
You know, I'd really love to see the Dolphins get into the playoffs, but looking at the way both of these teams are playing currently, I don't know. I think I'm just going to pick the Jets just so we split on it.
So we're splitting on the Jets and the Dolphins. Giants, Eagles, next game. This is a big game, too. Giants have nothing to play for, but they're going to play their starters. I think that's probably a good decision by Brian Daboll. A lot of people hate it, but if you're a first-year head coach playing your starters against a really good Philadelphia Eagles team on the road, Jalen Hurts should be back. I think Philadelphia wins this game. They played sloppy football. Well, they didn't really play sloppy against the Cowboys, but they played bad football against the Saints last week. I do think this is a game where, hey, Philadelphia can prove everybody, hey, we're still a dangerous team with our star quarterback back. But yeah, and last time the Giants played, they played horrible football. Like, it wasn't even close. 48-22 game. Daniel Jones looked awful. They just couldn't get going. I think at Philly, trying to play for the number one seed, because Philadelphia can still clinch it with a win. It's at Philly. Giants have nothing to play for. I mean, except playing spoilers, but I think the better team is obviously the Eagles with Jalen Hurts and that talented team around them. I think it's going to be a blowout in my opinion. I think they'll win like a 30-14 game.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I could honestly see this game going either way. The Eagles do have a better team, but the Giants are playing really well, and having played Philly earlier in the season, I think they have a decent shot of winning. I do think, so I am going to pick the Giants, but I do think if these teams were to re-meet in the playoffs, it's going to be interesting to see how they end up playing. And again, the Giants aren't resting their starters. They are going for it. And I think they're practicing for the playoffs. I think they're trying to make sure that they're ready to go and they know what they're looking for. Because they very well could meet the Eagles again.
Yeah, true. And and like I said, they're not, they're stuck at that 6th seed. They can't go 5th. They can't go 1st. They can't go 7th. So, and that's a good point. But like I said, Philadelphia has a lot to play for, and I think with Jalen Hurts back, it's going to help elevate that team to a much better scenario. So our last pick'em, I know this thing called pick'em, but we call them pick'em until we get a better name. But our last Week 18 pick is a big one for Lions Packers. Green Bay wins, they clinch a playoff berth. If Detroit wins and Seattle loses, they'll clinch a playoff berth. Dan Campbell with the Lions, those feisty Lions, who start off 1-6. It's pretty much an amazing story too. It's battle of like the two underdog teams. Detroit went 1-6, got a win streak going, and guess who their first win was after a 1-6 start? The Packers. Green Bay won 4-8. Now they're 8-8, and now they meet again for a chance at the playoffs. I am gonna pick the Packers in this one. I think Green Bay has the better momentum between the two teams. I think now Detroit has a better offense than Green Bay, but I think Green Bay has a better defense, and just the way that Packers defense going. And the number one factor is gonna be in that game, Keyshawn Nixon. Because he's explosive, he's dangerous. So this better team is getting better for Green Bay. Defense getting better. The offense, I'm a little shaky on against that Detroit Lions defense, and also to how Jared Goff's gonna play against the Joe Barry's defense. But I think if Aaron Rodgers and the rookie receivers, if Aaron Jones can get going too, I think it'll be a good game. I actually might think this might be an overtime game in my opinion. I think this game has two perfectly balanced teams, good teams fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe both teams, but I will say Green Bay might win this game. I'll say overtime, 23-20.
So, in terms of defense, I think Green Bay has them beat. But in terms of everything else, I think they're pretty well matched. Green Bay is on a winning streak, but yeah. But I don't know. As Dan Campbell said, the Detroit Lions will be the team that can and will. And I could very well see this game going to overtime. I could see it going either way, but I'm picking the Lions.
I'd rightfully so. I mean, I think this is probably the best game of the weekend. Like, no bias at all. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You got two underdog teams fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe, hopefully. I mean, that'll be a much, better outcome. But, yeah, so recap for week 8.
And just to say real quick, even if the Lions aren't playing for a playoff spot, I still think they're going to come out to win.
Oh, yeah, and rightfully so. As Dan Campbell, they have no quit in them. But to recap our Week 18 picks, Tennessee, Jacksonville. I picked Tennessee. She picked Jacksonville. We both agreed on New England, Buffalo. I picked the Dolphins. She picked the Jets. Giants, Eagles. She picks Giants. I picks Eagles. And Lions, Packers. I picked Packers. She picks Lions. So those are our Week 18 picks. That was the last one of the regular season, even though we did it for like 4 weeks. But we'll do that again next season. The last topic I want to discuss real quick. NFL brought breaking news last night that they did cancel the Bengals-Bills game, which rightfully so. That's obviously the smart decision, best decision to do after the turn of events to happen. But
yeah, now God forbid you never want this to happen, but had this happened earlier in the season, there would have been more time to think about everything that's going on. But with the playoffs starting very soon, the league does not have a lot of time to make decisions and figure out the best way to do this. So there is nothing they could possibly do that will make everyone happy. But I think some of their solutions are pretty decent given the situation.
all right, and obviously, nobody talks about this until Damar Hamlin got the okay, because obviously a man's life is way more important than a football game. So yesterday, after Damar Hamlin showed sign of improvement, they did cancel the game. And according to the official NFL social media page, this is what they suggested. These are scenarios, 3 different scenarios for these games. The AFC Championship game will be played at a neutral site if the participating teams played an unequal number of games, and both could have been the number 1 seed and hosted a game at all AFC clubs played a full 17-game regular season. Those circumstances involve Buffalo or Cincinnati qualifying for the game as a road team are listed below. And here are the scenarios. Scenario number 1. Buffalo and Kansas City both win or both tie. A Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. This is what could happen in Week 18.
Mm-hmm.
Result on that. Scenario number 2. If the Bills and Chiefs both lose and the Ravens win or tie, a Buffalo-Kansas City championship game will be at a neutral site. Scenario number 3. If the Bills and Chiefs both lose and the Bengals win, a Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City championship game will be played at a neutral site. And also, too, I thought this was interesting, too. So, technically, according to sources, technically the Bengals are the AFC North champions after the game was canceled. If the Ravens beat the Bengals in Week 18, they will have defeated Cincinnati, a divisional opponent, twice, but will not be able to host a playoff game because Cincinnati will have a higher winning percentage from a 16-game schedule than Baltimore will for a 17-game. This is when it gets interesting. If the Ravens defeat the Bengals, and if they do make the playoffs, a coin toss will be determined who gets home field for that game. Which I kind of get the scenario for that. Um, I'm not gonna judge. But I thought that was quite interesting. A coin toss could determine who gets to host what.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And I mean, that's the number one seed kind of is whatever it's going to be. But the AFC North was really the thing that was kind of in question this week. And so I guess a coin toss is like the best way to make it fair if the Ravens were to win that game. But again, there's no good solution right now. We just have to work with the situation.
Right. And rightfully so. So, obviously we'll see how these Week 18 games go. Um, hopefully, they did what they could. They did what they can. Obviously, um, and I know people aren't gonna be happy regardless. They think their team got screwed, and there's lots of videos saying like, "Oh, if whoever wins Super Bowl, put a big asterisk on." I'm like, no, because you still gotta play your opponent. You gotta win. If you're that good of a team, you can go in any place. But yeah, so I think the league did what they supposed to do. I think they handled it very well throughout the whole week too of the incident that happened to now.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to say whatever they're going to say when these playoffs start, and they can do that, but if you've been watching this whole season, you know what these teams have been doing, and you know how they play and how well they can do, whether or not there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, it's just been a wild season, and um, that's pretty much all we have too. That's pretty much wraps up the AFC playoff stuff. But yeah, we just want to say real quick, we are very glad and thankful Damar Hamlin's okay. Very scary situation to watch on TV that night, and I know not only for us, but for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doesn't happen very often that everyone just like comes together and collectively like holds their breath or, you know, prays together and sends well wishes like that. And it was just,
It was heartwarming. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of times in the NFL, we're all just like, everyone's bickering with each other about whose team's better, whose team sucks, all this other stuff, and or the players are fighting with each other, or there's all this other drama going on and stuff. But
But a time like this, that you gotta realize, hey, we're all human beings. We're all doing our jobs.
yeah, it wasn't about what team you're loyal to that night. It was all about making sure that he was okay, and that was just, it was nice. Obviously, there's always going to be some people that are gonna do.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about those people.
But the majority of people, everyone came together, and that was impressive.
But yeah, and definitely been a tough week for a lot of people, and I'll just end it with this. Life's precious. I know life's precious, and hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, and never, I don't know. I'm just lost of words. Like it's so, it's been an emotional week. But all I'm gonna say, just love your loved ones. Oh, we love all you guys who all been watching. And just not only keep showing love and support for Damar Hamlin, but keep love and support for everyone that are going through hard times and going through difficult moments. Because you may never know who needs it, whether it's Damar Hamlin or a couple people out there, people that know him, or just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So check on those who need it, and just like I said, hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, and appreciate for all they done.
Yeah, because I mean, this is a horrible situation, and I'm glad there's such an outpouring of love, but there are people in our personal lives that are going through stuff every day, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs extra help sometimes. So just, you know, tell people you love them, be there for them.
But yeah, yes. So that's gonna pretty much end up today's episode. We appreciate all you guys' love and support for watching. We love you guys. We'll be back with another episode Monday. Might try to throw up an extra episode later that week. It is postseason time. After Sunday, so we'll recap some of the big games, and we'll pretty much got to it later. But alright, guys, we love y'all, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys. Love y'all.
Bye.